Let's fight. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, let's fight, folks. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. Pace and power. Good to have Eva Mattis. Y'all know the good folks around here tonight. Welcome in the ring, guys. Eva Mattis is here. Donna George is here. Evelina Whitaker. I see Edward Brooms is on the live. Pace and power, good folks. Let's get right to it. We got a lot to share with you, wonderful folks. So share that live for us. Smash that emoji button for us, folks. We want as many persons to get the credible and valid information. Smash, smash, smash. I wish I had the original bell. Smash that emoji button, good folks. Pace and power. Boots on the ground. Good to have you guys here, and I want you all know, those of you who join us each and every night, they got a new book I want to recommend out of the Austin's bookstore. It's also available at New Era Bookshop. It's by Raphael G.C. Trotman, folks, on the Parliament in the Republic of Guyana, folks. It's going to be worth the read once you're interested in all things political. It's not too pricey. It's not even pricey. Once you're interested in all things political, head down there at the Austin's bookstore, New Era Bookstore, folks, and have a look. Have a sample. It's there. It's there. And just for your reading pleasure. Just for your reading pleasure. Andrew and all the other folks joining us. Pace and power. Boots on the ground. Y'all know how we do it, folks. Boots on the ground. We're backing down. So that's available there, folks. And also I want to remind y'all, if you're looking for a good Justice of the Peace Commissioner of Votes to affidavits for all of your documentation needs, I want to recommend as well the Alistair Collins firm. They're down there, the Callion Mall, on Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo Streets, folks. We use them all the time. I want to recommend them highly for all your documentation need. Check them out, folks, between Camp and what? What's the other one? Waterloo on Lamaha Street, folks. You're going to find them there. Pace and power, boots on the ground, good folks. That's how we do it, good folks. That's how we do it. Good to have all of you folks on the live tonight. Good to have each and every one of you folks on the live. Y'all know we say. Great to have you all on the live. Share the live, folks. Smash, smash, smash. Smash that emoji button. And then let's get right to it, folks. We're holding for some of you. We're in a holding pattern. Holding and waiting. Waiting and holding for you guys. Good to have all of you folks. And as if you all know our broadcast, if you all know our program, but we got the fight card set. we set, good folks. We are set, we're fired up, and we're ready to go. It's just some of you, not everybody. Some of you, we're in a holding pattern. We're in a holding pattern, waiting for you all to catch yourselves. But good to have each and every one of you. Come on, folks. Pick up the pace a little bit. We ain't got all night. We don't have all night, good folks. Might we pick up the pace just a little bit? Let me make myself a little more comfortable. Might we pick up the pace just a little bit more, folks? Might we? Yeah. Folks, we got the fight card set. And if you all know our broadcast, you all know by now where we're going from here, folks. We're going. Yep. We're going, folks, in the opener. Today was another sitting of the Public Accounts Committee. Well, y'all know how them boys say there. Y'all know them boys and girls of the Public Accounts Committee, especially those on the other side. The different folks, they are different. Well, you can see some of that today. Could you imagine a former REO, Dennis Jaikaran, appeared before, this is a regional executive officer, Dennis Jaikaran, appeared before the PSC today, the Public Congress Committee. Yeah. He appeared virtually. The man was dressed fantastically. He was dressed, phenomenal. But that's not what got the attention of the Honorable Member Gates here. No. It wasn't his sartorial splendor. No. Was a little button the man had on. Was a book in the background. Was a photograph You know, we worried about the wrong things in this country. Gail Teixeira, we are worried about the wrong things. The wrong things in the 592. We worried about the wrong things. Folks, share the live, smash that emoji button for us. The opener. The opener. The different. On the Public Accounts Committee, we warned y'all, you know, they meet so few and far in between. And before when Gail show up, she concentrated on the things that matters. Oh, she's all over the place. Take a look, folks, and take a listen. Take a look. The opener. Good, folks.
Madam Chair, recognize your hand. Do you have a follow-up to the very said question?
No, I'll hold that for another issue. Just a comment, though. I find it odd that this is a public accounts committee with the public servants, and that the former RAO's backdrop and his button on him make him very partisan, which is quite unprofessional and unpublic service-like. He's free to his political opinions outside, but his declaration today seems to be defiant. So I find it very unusual for a former public officer to be doing what he's doing. So that is just a comment and an observation, because I've never seen this happen at the public service before. That, you know, the public servants, even the former ones, whether they're politically partisan or not, tend not to wear all their badges all over them to declare their partisanship. So it's just an observation, but I'll get to my next question after when we move to that item.
Mr. Chair, I hear you, Madam Chair, and the member had indicated that he's now a private citizen who is in the comfort of his home. And
That may be so, Mr. Chairman, but this is still the Public Accounts Committee, and he's here not as a private citizen. He's here as a former public official who held the post of RAO to answer to the public account.
I hear you and I agree with you, but the man is in the comfort of his own home and he chooses to sit wherever he chooses to.
And where his button, and the button is part of his home, right? The button is part of his home. Well,
yes, he can himself with certain paraphernalia. That's his business. As long as he answers the question.
I see. So when that repeats itself with other public officials, you will have no problem, sir. Is that the standard? That's the standard you're setting, Mr. Chairman.
No, I'm not setting a standard. I want you to appreciate the member is a retired REO who's in the comfort of his home. And if other retired accounting officer happens to make an appearance in the comfort of their home, once they're not in the nude or in any compromising position, we welcome them to answer the questions of the Public Accounts Committee.
Therefore, he is answering as a former REO, not as a private citizen. I underline that. We don't invite private citizens to the PAC. We invite former REOs or former PSs because they continue to be that for accountability purposes. But you've set a standard, Mr. Chairman, that any public servant can come before you as a private citizen in any form of dress, including partisanship.
Not any form of dress. I specifically said once they are not in a interesting position. But in the comfort of their own home, wherever they choose to do their business in addressing the concerns of the Public Accounts Committee in a manner that we don't find reprehensible, then we can deal with that. But given the fact that we have accepted at this Public Accounts Committee a virtual platform, and the fact that you have raised some observation that seems to be concerning for you, then this committee can take it up on its own and set certain criteria when persons are making an appearance, even if it's in the comfort of their own space, such criteria. But as it is now, such criteria weren't set, and therefore we have to deal with that on another issue. Yes, Member Patterson.
Mr. Chair, I think this committee has in the past berated former company officers, not making any appeal.
Speak in the mic, please.
Oh, you can hear me. Yeah. We berated former company officers for not making appearances. I think we even are about to move a motion or amendment to the to our to direct for former. Unless, sir, we do like a standing order to set a dress code for a member of parliament. It's busy suit or a shirt with you. I understand the concerns, or I could empathize the concern to the honorable member, to Mr. Shearer, but I think the most important take out of this is that the former company avail himself to respond to the questions.
We look forward to his answers then, Mr. Patterson.
It's like we all do. That's all I'm saying, madam. I think that the mere fact that he has turned up and we have the opportunity to put questions to him if necessary should be the overriding issue at PAC at the moment.
I'd like to return to the search to the 110 million taxpayers' dollars.
I before you return to the search, I don't want to allow Mr. Shearer's observation to not somewhat inform the committee to give serious consideration if it so requires of us to set certain conditions for persons appearing virtually. If that would appease her, then I have no objection to that. But I'm saying that once a member, as it is now, avail themselves, and more so if they're in the comfort of their home and they choose to dress in a manner that is pleasing to them in the comfort of their home, this committee, and more so I as a chairman, have no objection.
So I just want to add real quick. I think it's important to note that there is no party paraphernalia displayed anywhere in the background when Mr. Jaikaran is showing up. What we do see on display is photos of former presidents of our country, but there is absolutely no paraphernalia displayed for any political parties. I think that we need not put that on a record that we have party paraphernalia.
He has a button on him with Burnham, so it's partisanship I'm dealing with.
Former president. Former president. That's what I just...
Dress. I don't. He has a shirt jack on a top.
Two former presidents. I think even this parliament honors all our former presidents.
The parliament, there's the president.
This is a public official. The REOs, we're dealing with a former REO or former PS. These are public officials expected to be impartial, even when they come before the PAC and they're retired. I take Patterson's point that you take them as you get them because most of them don't come, so we appreciate that. But the issue of being sensitive to the Public Accounts Committee, which is dealing with public servants and public officials, not partisanship. And so in this PAC, we ask many questions of REOs, whether they are sympathetic to the government or sympathetic to the former government or vote in a different way. That's not our interest. Our interest is to make sure we get answers.
Yeah. And folks, that is how they do it, you know. That is how they do it. They make up these things, Sister Gola. There is no rule how people should dress and what they should wear as they come before the Public Accounts Committee. You know, one would hope that people are dressed in a manner that is befitting. They dress decently coming before the Public Accounts Committee. But here is Guilty Share, folks, wanting to tell you what books you should have in your house. This is the former REO, Dennis Jaikaran. This is how he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee. So Gail is offended because in the background you see former President David Granger. It upsets her that Dennis Jaikaran had a button on his shirt with Forbes Burnham. She doesn't see that as a national picture of a former president. All she can see is partisanship. Of all the books on the shelf behind Comrade Jaikaran, she only sees the Destiny to Mole and burn them. And that's what she's strung up on, Folks, I'm showing you how Comrade Dennis Jaikaran appeared before the Public Accounts Committee. The man is in his house. She wants to tell him what books he should have in his library. Right? If he had a book by Jack Newton, she would have no problem, but Jack would never write nothing. If he had a photograph of her finale, she would not have had any problems there. But the man has a photograph of two former presidents, and it's come on, Gail. When this is the level of the discourse in the PAC, 10 minutes of a PAC that hardly meets. But you all understand, right? You all understand we're in a bad way. 10 minutes of a PAC that already hardly meets. And look at what has the attention of Comrade Gale. Look what has it. Folks, you think they're easy? But all of that is methodology, strategy to distract from the real issue. And that is the records. Folks, let's head into the fight. Happy to have each and every one of you here with us, folks. Help us to head into the fight. Let's talk about some other matters. How y'all doing, folks? That was the opener. The Public Accounts Committee hardly meets. Folks, let me tell you, hold on. I don't know, some of the things not in. We have a guest that's dropping by. We have a guest that you're going to want to share the live. You're going to want to smash that emoji button, folks. We do have a guest that's dropping by. But before we get there, folks, I want to touch on some of the things that we're following in the 590. Well, y'all know once we come here, a lot of trouble, a lot of problems. Y'all know once we come here. Let's look at a couple of these things very quickly. I don't know what's happening here today. Let's touch on a couple of the things that we see. Let's touch on a couple of them. Please and thank you. Not plenty, just a couple. Not enough. Good, folks. Just a couple. I want us to touch on. And let's have a quick go. Look at some of the issues we're following tonight, folks. Now, Irfan run out here. And Irfan needs reporting to tell us now, like Gail. Gail want to tell us what books you must got in your shelf, whose president's button you must wear, what food must be in your pot. Yeah. It's rupture the trade, What food you must cook, if it's cook up or something else. Right? Now he said you're looking at faults too much in this government. That's what he said. Too much faults people are looking at. And he's asking that local and regional media celebrate successful governance model. Well, if the folks ain't got nothing to celebrate, what you want to do? What you want to do if they have nothing to celebrate? He says he was very critical apparently of this historical focus. Listen to this. Historical focus on corruption narrative. If they corrupt, what do you want people to do? We all sat by and we saw Isabel Young, the fantastic journalist from Vice News. We knew who was in the living room, who handles all the agreements, who on the government side, who on the private sector. Didn't we see that? He said there's been a historical focus on corruption narratives in developing countries. Well, if that is what it is, that is what it is. In addition to that, folks, moving on very quickly, we got to get somewhere in a hurry. We got to get somewhere. Moving on very quickly. Demwara Harbor Bridge. I'm top middle. Demwara Harbor Bridge. Apparently, they got to count the cost there. The company that's responsible for this barge and tug drifting, they wasn't looking at it, the drifting, folks. They got to pay. They got to pay. They said they're going to pay for the damages to the pontoons there at the Mar Harbor Bridge. They said 4 boys and 2 pontoons were damaged as this barge and truck drifted. We're not looking where we're going in this country. We're not looking where we're going. Well, I'll have you guys know that MARAD, the Maritime Administration Department in Guyana, they're investigating the cause as to why this tug ended up where it ended up with the barge. You know, they tell you how the investigation start. They don't tell us, folks, how the investigation conclude. But we follow. Total eclipse. Y'all watching these? Y'all watching this eclipse? Y'all seen it yet? They said if you're in Canada, Mexico, the United States, this rare phenomenon is not going to occur for the next 2 decades. By the time I see some of y'all back 2 decades from now, we pull in. If the economy of this country and the cost of living is anything to go by, full total eclipse, they say, occur every 18 months, but most occur very isolated across ocean stretches. And the next one that you can view from land, like these many places, and partially some other places, 2 decades. That could be quite a wait. Folks, we're expecting a guest, so we're in a hurry to get to it, folks. Death on the parapet. 70-year-old man. 70-year-old found dead on a parapet. My Lord, not an easy day, folks. And here we're talking about one Clinton Chase, 70-year-old unemployed resident, they tell us, of Middle Road, Le Penitent, discovered dead just yesterday. He lived alone, and the reports indicated he had come back to Ghana some time ago, about a decade ago, from living in the diaspora. His grandmother, Michelle Ward, found him motionless on his back on the parapet right in front of his residence. You think there's one thing wrong in this country? There's a number of things. A number of things, folks. That's why you gotta take it easy. Because you just never know. Take it easy. And as we're on death, folks, as we're in death, you know this country thing? Since them boys come in, violence against women and girls, carnage on our roads, and what, it's not easy. It is not easy at all. It's not easy. And they're telling us, Sarah Bacchus Arjun, a 56-year-old saleswoman, was murdered by her husband, Kemraj Arjun, 69. And this happened at Rec Dorsey, Region 3. Her body was found in a pool of blood inside the bedroom, with her father gasping for breath and emitting a strong, they say, smell of poison, her husband rather. A strong smell of poison. Right? And they said a note implicating Sarah in an alleged affair was found nearby. Oh, we see this too often. And I won't belabor the point that there's not one fish in the sea. But this violence against our women and girls got to be done. This violence that we see in our society, oh, we got to turn our face against that. But some of the very folks in the National Assembly, the politics in this country, who have responsibility for setting the agenda, implementing the policies that can push back, we may never be able to alleviate it, eradicate it 100%. But certainly we can take it on to mitigate it as far as possible. And they tell us that the husband, Arjun, is in police custody. Kemraj Arjun. He's in police custody at the moment. There's carnage on our roads and our waterways. Violence against women and girls. Corruption. 7 plagues of the PPP. That's what's happening. Fires like you never seen before. In terms of accident, look at some of what we saw quite recently. Take a look. And even though folks there got some terrible cuts and scrapes, we did not get any reports of fatalities. That's on the Diamond Public Road. Y'all see the madness? We lost 2 teachers over the weekend. A boat accident. GDF boat collided with a passenger boat or a privately manned boat. 2 teachers there. You all see the madness in this country. Our thoughts and prayers with the friends and family and loved ones of Sarah Backus. May her soul rest in peace. And may justice be done. May it be swift. Coming to the perpetrator, alleged Cameron Jar Jr., her husband. May it be swift. And that being said, folks, the line of death. Guyanese living in Barbados, they tell us, fell to his death over the weekend at a construction site. 51-year-old Andel McGarrell died while working on a construction site in Barbados. It was a fatal fall, folks. This happened, they tell us, over the weekend. I think it was on Sunday, was it? 2 workers fell more than 30 feet from a scaffolding during some construction work. McGarrell, they tell us, fell onto a piece of steel and was impaled. It bored through him. He celebrated his 52nd birthday, they tell us, or would have been celebrating his 52nd birthday next month on the 9th. Thoughts and prayers with his family. You know, you're going to make a better way for yourself, and then tragedy strikes. Just giving you a broad sweep of some of the things making the issues locally. CARICOM, speaking on the Venezuela issue, and bottom left, extreme left, says that what Venezuela did recently with this, what do they call it, organic law? That's what they call it. The organic law for the defense of Essequibo. What they did is potentially dangerous. I think it's dangerous. We got to move past potentially. It's dangerous. And it has come out criticizing Venezuela's unilateral, potentially dangerous adoption of the organic law on April 3rd, which, of course, has led to the escalations of tension between Guyana and Venezuela. Essequibo's we own. Don't fool yourself. It's ours through and through. Ours through and through. Moving along, folks. Look at that. We're following. So a sign today. People say in Chinese is pronounced, X is pronounced as a Z, Jing, Jing. All right. Signs of the time, folks. We'd always pronounce it in Guyana. Don't come wrong with us. Then fires, folks. Oh, fires like you've never seen. Fire in Linden over the weekend. Fire in Stevie Door. Here in Georgetown. Fires like you've never seen. Look at some of what transpired in Linden. Yeah. Look some of the other stories that we're following tonight. You think it is, folks? It's not. Funds. Linden. Heaven help us in this country. We got some stories loading. Last week, Friday morning, folks were in Capoey. Beautiful, lovely, indigenous village community on the Essequibo coast. All the Essequibos are ours. We ain't giving up Capoey or no place else. Even though Capoey got some jagabats and trench crappos, some tadpoles, and some cricketers. The residents in Capoey, they got several avenues to earn money for the community. Several. And these avenues are earning money, but the villagers not seeing what is money doing. They're not seeing. We spoke with a couple of them, folks, last Friday when we were missing in action at this end. This is what we were doing. Take a look, folks, and take a listen. We're coming back to our guests. Don't go nowhere. Share the live. Smash that emoji button. Capoey, folks.
This morning, I'm very happy to be out here. I'm proud to be out here as a resident of Capoey. I born here, I grow here, I live here all my life. So we have problems in our community. Now there is a problem with governance. There is a problem with accountability and transparency by the Capoey Village Council. Right? Now, let me give you a little timeline. Now, since January 2023, we have been fighting this issue. We had to write a letter to the council just for them to hold a meeting. Imagine that, a statutory meeting that was supposed to be held was not being held. So we, the residents, got together and wrote a letter. I have copies of it. We wrote a letter to the council requiring a meeting. Okay, that's in January. In that meeting now, we discover that the record book for 2023 was not completed. It was not completed like as how it should be, right? It was not completed. Then that's in January. Now the region went in because we wrote a letter also to the region, and the region came in, held a meeting with the village council, and they give them a time up to February. That's February 2023 for them to complete the village cash book, right? That's 2 months. Imagine January, February, month end. They give them that, to finish the village cash book. Okay, we waited until February. Eventually, the book was submitted to the office, and February, March, April, 2 months passed before that book was finished checking at the hinterland office in Anne Regina. Good? That's in March. Good. After that, now we March, April, May, we had a general community meeting. In that meeting, we discovered that $3.7 million could not be accounted for in the village cash book, right? So what we did, we wrote a letter of petition, and we forwarded it to the Ministry of Amrine Affairs. In May, later that May, the auditor came, Mr. Collymore came to do a little audit, right? I was not there, so I don't know what exactly went on, but he went. Then they came back. I can't remember exactly what time they came back, but they came back now, which is a team from the Ministry of Amrine and Affairs. Anybody can help me there, Lydia? Like when they came back? When they came back with the team from the Ministry of Amrine and Affairs? October?
Did you guys get any feedback? What was the result of the audit from Ms.
No,
Cullimore?
no, Mr. Duncan. We they took the report to Georgetown. No, the ministry came down, and the team, Ms. Ming, Mr. Collymore, the auditor, they came down and they discussed the petition, right, with us, right? So they say, oh, it's a problem of what? I can't remember the word, but they try to polish it off to say it's not a very big problem. And they're going to try to see how they can pacify this book or pacify the mistakes or whatever is inside the book. They went back to Georgetown, Mr. Duncan, and they promised us to come back here on the 15th of November. And to date, as I speak, this moment, nobody came back to tell us anything. Like, what's the result? They said they would come back to give us a report on the book, right? Good. So that happened. We waited. We called the PS. We even went up to visit the PS and all of that. All of that we did. We went to Georgetown and they promised to come. Nobody ever came. Right? Nobody ever came to tell us anything about our village cash book, about the monies that was short. Nobody came to tell us anything. And we keep waiting and we keep waiting. Nothing is being done. Now, concerning the monies and the cash and in our village council, Mr. Duncan, just like how the money come, just say it's spent out. In 2022, they made like $20 million, all gone. No project, nothing was done in the community. All the monies, how it come, just say it gone. It gone on this, on traveling, on some whatever, fuel, whatever it gone on. They make up their own report, Right. So that's in 2022. 2023, a new treasurer took over. And when we thought we would get a better work from that new treasurer, it's like even worse, Mr. Duncan. It's like even worse. Good. So, I don't know, but right now we are suffering. No report is being told to us. They don't even want to show us the sandbook, the treasure book. They don't want to show us what we want to see. What really y'all want to see? We said we want to see our book. We want to see how our monies were being spent. Mr. Duncan.
Have you seen the book?
No, Mr. Duncan. The last we went to see the book, here the lady, I won't allow you to see the book unless you call it to show. I said, all right. I said, give me a piece of paper and a pencil. And you know what I did? I wrote the summary and expenditure for December. And that was what I wanted, basically. And I have it. And when you see at the end of December, they made like $2 million and something dollars, and their expenditure was $2 million and something dollars. So they never have no monies in the bank. December closed off with $56,000 in the bank. Right? No monies in the bank, no monies, very little cash on hand, and we know what they're doing with the monies. Right? And they're telling us. Nothing is being done. Whatever is being done, look at that pre-building over there. That is LCDS monies built at.
So you all have been getting monies from the LCDS fund?
Yes, we did get.
And you're saying part of what that's done is build one of the buildings here?
Yes, a health center. Not a health center, a community center. Right, a community center.
And how much did that cost? Do you guys? Yeah.
I think about $8 million. Lydia, you could help me there? I
Something
think
like that.
around there.
And
right.
how much money overall y'all have gotten so much from the LCDS?
$24 million. $24 million in all. But how much?
24 for the first
Okay. So they're saying 34 million in all. First we collect 24, then they collect the balance of monies.
And you all know what has been done with that money? They've been telling you that, the Tushao and the other members of the council?
No, well, basically they have a little plan, but when the plan go out, it's just the councillors billing the thing. They involving other members of the community very rarely, and whoever they involve is their relative, and they involve just a few set of people inside the community. So we are very disgruntled, Mr. Duncan. Very disgruntled, and as our banner says, enough is enough, and like we don't want more of this, and we know election is near, and we just want this thing to go viral, and everybody must see what we the people of Capoey are going through, right? We want it to go viral. We want everybody to see what we are going, and I'm not afraid to speak, Mr. Duncan. I am not afraid to speak out, because for me, they call me the big bad wolf. Recently, a councillor cursed me up and insulted me and tell me a whole heap of things, Mr. Duncan. And the Tushaw is powerless to even chide that person to say, hey, okay, don't say that, don't do a resident like that. So for me, I know they don't like me. Right, the village tractor and everything is like their own. They ain't got no rules to guide it. Everybody just driving up and down.
So you're saying people are using the assets of the village for their
Personal
personal use?
use, right? Personal use. We have boat, tractor. We have a bakery. We are not getting any bakery report. We are not getting any fish report. We are not getting any chicken report.
So none of that is being discussed at the council meetings?
We are not seeing anything coming out of it because they're getting free chicken, free feed. Free fish.
Oh, we have a fish cage over there, Mr. Duncan. We don't even know what is going on with the fish. People selling the fish, we don't know where the money is going to. All of those resources we have in the community.
So these are allegations of corruption, basically.
Yes, these are allegations of corruption, Mr. Duncan. Yes. This morning, I'm very happy to be out here.
Apologies there, folks. That is what happened at Capoey. Some of what happened at other shows. The morning show, we're going to be unpacking some more of that. Apologies there. On the morning show, we are going to be unpacking some more of that because we met with the treasurer. The treasurer and the village council. We met with her husband too. You see this corrupt PVP? You don't want to join us in the morning as we unpack more of that. What we uncovered at Capoey, millions missing. You heard from the residents themselves, village council members themselves. Why transparency is so hard for the PVP? Why accountability is so hard? Valid, credible information. We promised you it, didn't we, folks? We hope we've been living up to your high expectations. In other matters, loading folks today, the High Court handed down a decision. Out with the all. And the Ghana Cooperative Public Service Credit, Ghana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. Out with the all. Karen and Cody Ghana, out the place. And in with the new. You have a number of things, folks, a number of things the court said today. The court said today, and led by the lawyer, the newly elected management committee laid out what the court said to the CEO and some others. And on the other side of this, folks, I have a guest. Let's get to it very quickly. Yep, this is what some of what transpired at the Ghana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union earlier today.
Good afternoon, Mr. How are you doing? We're here again to inform you at this stage that the court has made a number of orders today. The court has specifically ordered that elections must be presumed and be held valid until otherwise set aside by a competent tribunal. The court has made specific orders that the elected members emerging from the last meeting, that the constituted committee of management, and the court has identified based on the subsequent internal elections that Mr. Benn and the others hold the respective offices of chairman, secretary, treasurer. The court has also specifically ruled that yourself and the management are to act in accordance with the instructions made or issued by the new committee of management, and specifically the office holders. I believe that this substantially at this stage brings to an end the long saga that would have been ongoing. We must understand that persons will be dissatisfied and they're still entitled to take whatever steps they wish to take. But at this stage, this is where we are. I hope that you will cooperate rather than us having to resort to further court proceedings. There's in this instance a specific order, as in the last time, another specific order to be made to ensure that yourself and the management act in accordance with the instructions.
All right, so that is some of what transpired just today, folks. As I said, Karen Fresco, Mark, AJ, Kyle Bino, and all the other folks, Joylyn Cook, somewhat transpired today at the Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. Some of what happened, folks, just some. Not plenty, none of, just some. And I'm eager, very, very eager, folks, to get to my guests this evening. I said eager. Who Vex? Welcome. Folks, we are privileged to have with us tonight in the ring the man himself, the man of the hour, Trevor Benn. Trevor, your whole sojourn at the Ghana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union has not been an easy one. Walk us from the special general meeting early on in March to where we are today. A big decision coming out from the High Court today. In your favor from Justice Ravindra Singh. A big decision, but walk us through some of the events. You had this special AGM, court-ordered AGM in March. Bring us from there to where we are now.
Yes, thank you, Gerard. The public would know, those who have been following, that the court ordered in February of this year, that is second time, by the way, that a special general meeting be held of the Ghana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union, and that elections be held at those meetings. We followed through on the order of the court. We held the special general meeting. It was held virtually and in person at the Critchlow Labour College and in all 10 administrative regions. And it was held virtually by way of Rose IT, a Trinidad-based IT company. At the end of the meeting and the elections, 12 persons were elected. And the winners were announced by the returning officer, Dr. Leland Lucas from the University of Guyana. Those 12 persons, on the 4th of March, decided that they were going to the credit union to take up office. And at that meeting, a raucous occurred. The former members, who, by the way, did not participate in the elections, and who the members rejected anyway. The members said that they did not want them to be part of the process. Decided that they will disrupt the meeting of the court.
Yeah.
Our members would have seen what transpired on that day.
Yeah, banging on the table, a lot of chants, a lot of shouting. One member of the public would remember sat on the table. It was real obscene behavior. I want to say ghetto behavior, but that is to give the ghetto a bad name.
But Sherrod, it is not new behavior. This is what Patrick Mentor, Rajadai Jagannath, and I endured for the last 3 years with these members at meetings. This is their behavior. This is their MO. This is their standard operating procedure at meetings. When they are annoyed with a particular viewpoint or disapprove of a particular viewpoint, that has been their behavior. Yeah. So it's not new. The public got to see what we endured for the last 3 years.
Correct.
Nonetheless, we withheld our calm. Our members who were there, unfortunately, I could not be part of that meeting on the day. I attended it virtually. I was not there in person. But we kept our calm. We knew that we were in our right and we did not need to make a scene. In any event, Michelle Obama said, when they go low, you go high. And we chose to go high on that occasion, allow them to degrade themselves. And the spectacle was all for all to see. Really ugly and embarrassing situation. Nonetheless, Cheryl, they went to the CCDO, the Chief Co-op Development Officer. 8 members wrote him a letter saying that they had discrepancies with the way the elections were held. and they're asking him to intervene. As I've said on your program before, and I told Zoom meetings of our members, the CCDO had no jurisdiction in this matter. He forced himself upon on us, and the court today, in no uncertain terms, told him that he was out of his jurisdiction. He was out of place. He was out of place. He had no mandate, nowhere in the rules of the society or in the laws of Guyana was he given that authority. But Sherrod, you know what? The CCDO over the years have been forcing him or herself, whoever hold the position, on co-op societies in this country.
Usurping.
Or usurping the power of the society over the years. And no one stood up to them because either people were afraid or they did not have money to go to court. And so they got off with it all along. This is the second time in the last 2 years, that the court has ruled that the CCDO was out of place.
Yeah, and we got here, Trevor, because the CCDO wanted to see the membership role of the credit union. You didn't ask the credit union to see the credit role. He asking you and your team to see the credit role, how many members, and a whole bunch of stuff. And as you said, you maintain the CCDO was out of order. And I thought if the CCDO had any interest really truly in cooperatives, had any interest in elections, he would have found himself there on the 2nd of March at the British Labour College, if only to observe what was happening.
Sherrod, we wrote the CCDO requesting his presence at this special general meeting and asked him to be there to, one, to give an address to the meeting, and secondly, for him to be there as an observer. And he chose not to even respond to our requests. He did not respond. The CCDO is clearly in support of the other side and did not want to legitimize our meeting. There was no need for him to legitimize it.
Yeah. Because interesting enough, Trevor, with that, he never pronounced any conduct that the general public found abhorrent of the Gang of Nine, that fateful day of the 4th when they prevented you guys from really and truly taking up office.
He never did. And what is war, Sherrod? His new petition was submitted to the CCDO 1 week after. Nearly 700 members signed a petition calling on him to allow the new committee to take up their seat, to stop intervening. And he refused to even acknowledge the petition. The petition is on his desk today, almost a month after, and he has not even responded to that. But he responded to a letter from 8 people who said that they had a problem with the meeting. But he did not respond to 700 members who went to him and say, listen, by way of this petition, we are calling on you to recognize the new committee that we elected. He refused to even acknowledge that.
Yeah. So the court said he was out of his jurisdiction, out of order, and he's restrained basically from interfering.
The court restrained him from interfering because he has no place. The members who feel aggrieved, according to the court, and which is what we have been saying, should approach the competent body to have that matter heard and decided on. It is he who accused must prove.
Correct.
They are accusing us of not doing certain things. They must prove that we didn't do it.
Correct.
And Sherrod, we at all times consulted with the act that governs co-op society, consulted with the rules, and consulted with our lawyers. And we are satisfied that we did the right thing and the judge concurred.
Excellent. So again, the court took exception to the conduct of the CCDO and also even the conduct of Senior Counsel Mr. Neil Boston's client in this procedure. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I believe from what I witnessed today that the court did not take kindly the fact that Mr. Boston, a senior, well, a senior counsel, I don't think the court took kindly. This is my understanding from the decision that the members, the former committee members, were allowed to disregard the decision of the members who elected new committee. The court didn't take too kindly to that, and Mr. Boston, who was their attorney, was questioned about that. Was quizzed about that. How is that possible? You know, the answer was that it is the CCDO who took that course, not the lawyer, the CCDO. But then the judge keep asking, how come the CCDO has this authority? Who gave him this authority? And this has been my point. If the members who attended our Zoom meetings would know that I've been saying over and over, the CCDO has been overstepping its bounds and had no right to do what he did. And the court vindicated our position, which is why, Sherrod, we refused to send any document to the CCDO because he was out of place to ask us to intervene. What their side was saying is that it is a dispute. The court ruled in 2022 July that what we have was not a dispute. Election matter is not a dispute. The members are calling for fresh election. That's not a dispute. The court ruled on and therefore, the rule said that the CCDO can deal in issues regarding to dispute. Yes, we have no problem with that. But we have established over and over again that what we were dealing with was not a dispute. The law gives the members the right to recall their leaders using certain course of action through, in this case, through a special general meeting with a proper agenda and so on. And this is what the members did. And the former committee used the resources of the members to pay lawyers over the last 2 years to fight the members. The members' own money were used to fight them.
Yeah, quite interesting. So walk us through some more of what the court said about your team assuming office in today's decision and judgment.
So the court is saying that there should be no hindrance to our assuming office. An election was held. The returning officer reported on that election. The members who were elected must not be frustrated in taking up their position. There's nothing in law that says the CCD or anyone must stop us from taking up our position. That's what the judge said today. And his instructions are that with immediate effect, it must cease. Any obstacles to our taking up office must cease, and any party that is aggrieved know what they need to do in addressing their grievance. So that's where we are. We took up the judge's order today, and we reported to the office and spoke with the CEO, spoke with the management team, and let them know the position of the new committee of management, and to give instructions, immediate instructions, that the members of the former committee of management should cease to give any instructions or to operate at the credit union. You saw, Sharon, that in our meeting today, one of the former members sat through our meeting.
The table topper.
She knew what the court had agreed on. She was told what the court was agreed on, but she refused to be moved. She insisted on staying in the meeting, and we did not stop her. She's a member of the credit union, and she has a right, if she so chooses, to sit in the convenience of the credit union. We went ahead with our meeting. And thankfully, on this occasion, she chose not to sit on the desk or to bang the table. So we were very happy. She was very civil on this occasion, and we were very happy for that. So we went ahead today informing the managers of the court decision and give them an opportunity to inquire of us any questions they may have, and to give them further instructions, which we did outside of that meeting.
Excellent. One of the things the former committee was very strong on, the Gang of Nine, was that in fact that your team had to be installed. You couldn't just come and you couldn't just show up. You had to be installed. Did the court pronounce any of that?
No, sure. The court can't pronounce on something that is not existent. If we want the court to deal with how people are take up these positions, that's a separate matter that should be brought to the court for them to examine that. And then the court will look at best practices around the world and here in the Caribbean and see if there are any, and they will apply decision accordingly. We didn't ask the court to do that. They didn't ask the court to do that. But there's nothing in our rules or the act that says you need to be installed.
Yeah.
Again, this is what CCDO has been doing, using these measures to foist themselves onto their authority onto these committees. And this is why our committees are strong. We can't do anything in this country without the CCDO, because the CCDO has taken on to themselves such enormous power. They've taken on the powers of the court, the power of the committee of management, the power of the entire organization. They are the Lord, and we wanted to prove to the country and to the Caribbean, Sherrod, what we did was precedent setting. We wanted to show them that the CCDO is not Lord Almighty. The CCDO has limitations which he must follow. He or she holding the office must follow. That's what we wanted to establish, and we were able to do that with this case.
Excellent. What comes next for yourself, team, and the credit union? I know of recent, for instance, in terms of credit union matters, a dividend was paid. Nobody's that we asked seem to know how they arrived at the dividend. Some people said they got 800, 1,600, and all manner of things. What comes next for you almost immediately and the team moving forward?
So, Sherrod, like I said on the second, I think we need to understand what's going on in the society. We have heard all kinds of allegations about how money has been spent. We want to get a better understanding of that before we proceed. But when it comes to dividend, we have to have a special and annual general meeting for the members themselves to sign off on what the dividend should be. It is not for us to unilaterally make that decision. But we know why the previous committee of management was doing that. They were being, the members were saying to them, we don't want you, get out of the place. And they were trying to do stuff to really buy the membership. And so they came up with this thing hurriedly without giving much thought to it. We intend to relook at that, and at the annual general meeting, which will be held this year, we will give the final dividend. But Sherrod, we have to understand what is the current situation with the finances. I'm being told that millions of dollars were spent recently on what they call a gala and dinner. Members' money. Millions of dollars were spent on it. And then there was another activity the other day, a bingo. We are a $6 billion organization, Sherrod. Why are we holding a bingo to fundraise? This is the mentality of the people, very small-minded individual. And we gotta rise above that. And our committee will ensure that we demonstrate that in our decisions going forward.
Excellent. Trevor, to you and your team, congratulations. It's been a long road coming here. And even though I know the ongoing team, they don't have to say congrats or what have you. But has anybody reached out in good sportsmanship from the outgoing team to say congrats or anything of that nature, to concede?
On the contrary, Sherrod, 2 days ago, one of them went on a show to say that call me Jim Jones.
Wow.
So they have just been going out there trying to
Tarnish your reputation and good name.
yeah. But Sheriff, there were a number of people who stood by our side. Our members in general stood by our side. They understood the fight, and they were there step by step with us. You saw some of them there today, who were there from the beginning. And I want to use this opportunity to say a special thank you to them. It is because of people like the ones you saw today at the court and at the office who call me on a daily basis, Mr. Ben, you can't give up this fight. You're not doing this for you. We're not allowing you to give it up. You have to continue, and they have prayer sessions, they have meetings outside of the credit union. They do all sorts of things to encourage us and to make sure we get to this point. And to them, we owe this victory. Those members, we owe this victory, and I want to say a special thank you to them, and I want to assure them that they will not be forgotten.
Excellent. Mr. Ben, there's an adage that leadership, like good art, people know it when they see it. And certainly they've seen leadership in you and your team, and you guys have endeared yourselves to them and them to you. Congrats again, and we're looking forward to even greater works than we've seen in the past. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, folks. Thank you so much, Mr. Ben, for dropping by and giving context to today's events, what happened at the courts and what happened at the Ghana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. And congrats to the whole team, Mahela and all the other folks, Mr. Mentor. A very good evening to you guys, and do us proud, folks. Do us proud. I'm a card-bearing member. A salary paying into the credit union. Fantastic, again, a public service cooperative credit union. And I have no doubt these guys are going to do as well. That's going to do it for us at this end. That being said, that's the last bell. Guys, good to have each and everyone here. Good to see you all on the live. Auntie Sandra, Leon Blair, Wilma Grant, Rosetta Barchett, Edward Brooms, Jamal Aziz. See you there as well. I see Sonia Massey Cup is on the live too. Sonia joining us all the way from Maryland. Yep, and Aindi Jackson joining us all the way from what area is that? The South Rupununi. Is it Southern? Oh. Karatsabai, Tiger Pond, those areas there. Aindi, thanks for joining us. You and the entire family circle and community. Yep, Jolyn Cook, Raquel Gentle, Vanilla Garnet, Gloria Chester. Good to see you, Gloria. Trust that you're great. You and the hobby, Gloria. Good to have all of you on the live, folks. That being said, share the live before you go. Smash that emoji button before you go. That's our time. That's our program. Stay safe out there, good folks. It's been great fun having you guys here. Thanks for showing up. Y'all mean a lot to us.